Hi there, it's early April in the Middlesized Garden, and this time last month I was just looking at a whole load of snow. It's Alexandra here from the Middlesized Garden YouTube channel with tips, ideas and inspiration for your garden. And this is my regular feature where I go round my own garden and I see what I've learnt from it this month, and I hope that'll be really useful to you too. So let's go. This time a month ago, this view was absolutely thick with snow. It was completely unexpected. Since then, the temperatures have been a bit higher. They've been sort of between about 3 degrees and maybe at the very most 9 degrees, that's centigrade. But it has rained so much that we have not managed to mow the lawn at all. And we are one of the driest parts of southeast England, so this is quite unexpected. The brilliant thing about bulbs at this time of year is that their leaves cover up all that brown earth that's been around for so long. And so the bulbs have just come up, they've just covered the bed, it all looks green and gorgeous. By the time the other flowers come up, by the time the dahlias have pushed up, the grasses have grown back, and things like roses have got leaves on and flowers, and by the time there's actually loads of stuff in the bed, then the bulb leaves will have disappeared. So I really think having loads of bulbs is just brilliant for this time of year in the garden. And I don't take them out, I just leave them in there and I pile some mulch on at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. Because obviously if you're growing bulbs and perennials in the same bed, then that is really going to be quite demanding of the nutrition. Other things that I've done in the garden this month include washing the silver birches. I would never have thought of washing my silver birches, but it's actually what the professional gardeners do. And when you see those show gardens at Chelsea, the RHS Chelsea and Hampton Court, and these beautiful white birches, well, you know, just a little bit of soap and water. I've done a video on washing your silver birches. It'll be in the description below, but it is pretty simple. In early March, we had the branches pruned from the silver birch and also from the cotinus. That tree on the left-hand side has wonderful purple leaves, and it's called a smoke bush, and it is wonderful, but it has got a little bit big and is suffering from a fungal disease. So we're cutting it back and hoping that that will mean it's healthier. I particularly love seeing all the bulbs come up around those trees because nothing much grows underneath their canopy in the summer, but in the spring that is just the most wonderful, vibrant floral area. This is a really useful plant. This is Euphorbia wolfenii. And these daffodils there, these little ones, they're always the first to come up. They are called tete-a-tete daffodils, and they're really worth having in a garden. Now this is something I'm trying this year, which is to make my own plant supports out of birch twigs. They're the birch twigs we actually cut from the tree over here. We use the prunings for that tree to make these plant supports. It's actually very simple, and there is a video which you can see in the description below. So if these supports work well, they're free, they're easy to do, and they actually look quite natural in the garden. You can't really see them sitting here, even now that there's hardly anything there, and of course I'm expecting them to disappear, and of course they're quite green. Now here on the right we have the bed, which has not been covered by black plastic. There's a lot of self-seeded coriander and rocket in this bed, so I didn't cover it with black plastic. At the back you can see the beds that are still covered in black plastic. I'm going to plant them up quite soon. And then here is the bed where I just uncovered the black plastic yesterday in order to plant some potatoes. So you have to make the choice, do you want things like self-seeded parsley, coriander and rocket, and indeed spinach? I mean, a lot of things self-seed beautifully. Or do you want less work with weeding? This is another of my favourite places in spring because I love the way the yellow variegated holly, which we've cut into a topiarised shape, really goes with the yellow daffodils. In fact, I've tried to make this a yellow bed for the rest of the year, but I do find organising colours quite challenging because all sorts of things pop up in gardens that you weren't expecting. And this is a case in point. I've been trying to turn this into a white bed for about 5 years. And, you know, there are white things in it. You know, there is the leucojum down there, those little tiny things that look like large snowdrops. But equally, other things have crept in and they're quite worthwhile. Thank you so much for watching this video, and do consider subscribing to the Middlesized Garden. We come out on Saturdays and most Wednesdays, and we visit private gardens that you might not otherwise see. I talk to experts, and if there's anything that you'd particularly like to know about gardens, or any kind of garden you'd particularly like to see, leave a comment below, because I'd love to hear from you. And so hope to see you next time. Thanks. Bye.